Internet in Zimbabwe can either make your life easier or relieve you stress and broke. And the sad part is, most people only realize they made the mistake after spending their money. From buying the wrong package, ignoring the coverage, and even falling for cheap deals that might disappoint you later. So today, we are going to be talking about the 7 biggest mistakes Zimbabweans make when buying internet. So if you're using Starlink, Liquid, Tier 1, Econet, or even Net1, this video could save you money, time, and frustration. My name is Owen and welcome to my YouTube channel. So without wasting any time, let's start with the first issue, and it's number 1. This is the most common mistake in Zimbabwe, that is choosing internet based on price only. So a lot of people, just look at the cheapest bundle and think this one is affordable, let me go for it, But what they don't realize is that cheap internet can actually cost you more in the long run, and this is because that it usually finishes quickly. The speed is slow, and you end up buying bundles again and again, and before you know it, you will spend more money than if you just bought a proper package from the start. And guys, let's be honest, we've all been there. You buy your cheap bundle, you open up your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever, your Reddit, and within minutes it's already gone. So in Zimbabwe, internet is already expensive, guys. Going for a cheap option without thinking about the value is really a big mistake. So instead of you just looking at the price only, you should be asking yourself before you buy a bundle, how long will this data last? Is the speed actually usable? Is it good for what I need? You use internet for different things. Do you want to stream? Do you want to play games? Is it for work? So because at the end, cheap doesn't always mean it's better. So before you buy your bundle, just consider the pricing issue first. The second thing that I want to talk about, and honestly guys, this might be the biggest mistake Zimbabweans make when they are buying their bundle, and that is ignoring the location. So internet in Zimbabwe is not the same everywhere, and what I mean about that is that what works perfectly for someone in one area can be completely useless in another. So you can hear someone saying this network is fast, but when you try it in your area, it is very, very slow. It will be buffering, and it's not even working properly, and that's because network strength depends heavily on your location. Like for example, some areas have strong internet coverages, while others don't have. So for the third thing, it's not understanding the peak time and slowdowns, and this is something that a lot of people don't really actually realize. Your internet speed actually changes depending on the time of the day. Like here in Zimbabwe, most network get congested, especially in the evening. And I want you to think about it. Around 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., everyone is online. People are watching YouTube, are doing WhatsApp calls, are downloading, are streaming, people are uploading, so network becomes really overloaded and the speed will drop. So that's why our internet can be very fast, very late at night, maybe around midnight, but suddenly very slow in the evening. When you see that, you start thinking, my network is bad, maybe I bought the wrong bundle, something like that. But the truth is, it's just a peak time congestion. So before you blame your internet provider, you just need to understand what time are you using your internet the most. You really need to consider that. So for the fourth one is ignoring the power cut issue here in Zimbabwe. And now this one is a real Zimbabwean problem, because a lot of people, buy internet and expect it to work like perfectly 24/7, but they do forget the one most important thing, that is ZESA. when the power goes off, a lot of things will be affected. Like for example, your router switches off, network towers may go down or slow down. Some fiber connection can stop working. So even if you have a good internet, once there is a power cut issue, everything will change. And we all know how unpredictable power cuts are here in Zimbabwe. 1 minute you're watching YouTube, Netflix, and the next thing, darkness. So then you go on and why is my Wi-Fi not working? Is my network like finished? But it's actually just the power. So that's why before choosing your internet in Zimbabwe, you should also think about CESA. Do you have like a backup power? And do you have a backup inverter? Does this network works shooting network so you really have to consider that before you buy your internet. At number 5, it's not checking your data limits, and this is especially to those so-called unlimited packages. So for this one, it catches a lot of people here in Zimbabwe. You see a bundle that says unlimited Wi-Fi or unlimited data, and you think finally more buying bundles every day, but what they don't tell you is it's not truly unlimited. So what usually happens is this: after you use a certain amount of data, your speed gets reduced or your connection becomes very, very slow. And sometimes it's so slow that you can even open YouTube or even TikTok or even Instagram. Maybe you can use WhatsApp, but you barely open YouTube or even download just a movie. So technically, yes, it's unlimited, but practically it's limited. And many people only realize this after they've paid their subscription or they paid their bundle. To me, that's why before buying any package, you should always check, is there a fair usage policy, and also do your research after how much data does the speed drops, even what speeds we will get after the data I've reached the limit. At number 6, it is choosing the wrong type of internet. A lot of people in Zimbabwe don't understand that not all internet is the same. There are several different types of internet. Like here in Zimbabwe, we have mobile data, like Econet or Telesio or Net1. We have fiber Wi-Fi like Tier 1 and Liquid. They have fiber here in Zimbabwe, and we have satellite internet, like Starlink. It's still new, but it's an option here in Zimbabwe. So the mistake that a lot of people do, they choose without thinking their actual needs. So let me give you an example. If you're someone who watches YouTube, download the videos, like a lot of videos, and also works like at home, mobile data like Econet, Telesio, Net1 will be too expensive for you. Or I can give another example. If you live in an area without fiber coverage, like Tier 1 fiber or so fiber, but you still try to get fiber, you just waste your time, because there's no coverage there. And there is Starlink, very fast and reliable, but the setup cost is very high and it's not for everyone. So instead of just following hype or trend, if you want to quit, or even copying others, you need to ask yourself these questions. What do you actually use the internet for? Are you going to use your Wi-Fi for streaming, for gaming, for just doing social media, WhatsApp, TikTok? What options are available in your area? Just ask yourself those questions, because choosing the wrong type of internet will frustrate you. No matter how good it is to someone, the right internet depends on you. And for the last one, which is expecting the same speed everywhere you go. So this one is another mistake a lot of people here in Zimbabwe make. You hear someone say, my Wi-Fi is very fast, I'm getting crazy, the low speeds. Then you get the same package, you buy the same package or bundle, but you experience a completely different experience. And you're like, this thing is a scam or Nadura, like we say in Shona. But the truth is, internet speeds are not consistent. So your speed depends on a lot of things. And the first one I can say it's the location, that you're living, network congestion, the time you're using it, even the number of people connected. it can also affect your network speed. So just because someone else, is getting a fast internet wherever they are, it doesn't mean like you get the same experience. That's why it is important to manage your expectations, because like here in Zimbabwe, internet is not a one size fits all. So it can be the same package, same network, but the results will be different. So basically, those were the 7 mistakes Zimbabweans are making when buying internet here in Zimbabwe. So just let me know in the comment section which mistake if you made before, and if this video helped you in any way. Don't forget to like and also subscribe if you want to watch more content, and also share to a friend who wants to know anything about internet. So my name is Owen. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video.